Hello, and welcome to a tutorial for my new Max for Live device called NoteMap. I made this device because I often want to modulate different parameters with MIDI notes. There's other ways to do it. You know, you can use Live's CV tools. The thing I don't like about that way is that you have to set the range in percentages, so you can't really set it very accurately. Depending on the parameter you're trying to modulate, sometimes you can't really modulate it in the way that would make the most sense. You may have seen me do this before with my Bend Keys and Bend Map device, but I wanted to make a device that does it right away with easy parameters to set, just because you know, it's a decent amount to set up, and I do this all the time, so I just wanted something streamlined for it. So I'm just going to go over all the parameters and give you a little demo of how you could use this device. So all the parameters in this little box are the ones you need to set up to make the device modulating it in tune the way you would want it. Basically, you want to set your root, which is, it's same as like root in sampler or whatever. It just sets the middle note, and all the other notes are going to be going around it. And then you want to set the root equals parameter, which basically says what value on the parameter that you're modulating gets output when you hit the root. So here I'm trying to modulate this transpose on this operator. So, it would make sense to have the root be 0. So when you hit the root, it's not being transposed. As you go up and down, it gets transposed. And then here you want to set these parameters to the range of the parameter that you're trying to modulate. This transpose parameter, the bottom of the range is 48 and the top of the range is, the bottom of the range is -48 and the top of the range is 48. So to make it in tune, you got to set these. And then the final step is to map it. I'm just going to remap it just to show you it was already mapped. There's a map button here. You hit map, and then you click on the parameter you want to map to. This is just like pretty much any other Max for Live device that maps to parameters. And yeah, just make sure to leave these at min and max, 0 and 100 if you want it to be in tune. You can change these if you want to, modulate them or something like that. Anyway, so now here I have a thing of stacked fifths, just C, G, and then D. And I am going to modulate that with the note map right now. Just a side note, when you're modulating stuff like this, I find chords with a lot of fifths in them kind of lend themselves to being moved around more than other chords, just because fifths are a pretty neutral interval. Just a side note if you're trying to figure out how you would use this. So when I hit play on this, I'm going to play up and down my keyboard, and you will see it being modulated. So you may have noticed that while I was playing, when I would let go of a note, it snapped back to 0, or the root, whatever you set the root as, which in this case is 0. And if you wanted it to not do that, you can click this latch parameter, which will then just hold all the notes as you play them. Here, I'm going to show you that. You also have this invert parameter, which basically, as you go down from the root, it's going to go up. As you go up from the root, it's going to go down. Pretty self-explanatory. You also have this retrigger toggle here, which, when it's on, it's going to work basically like the way a monophonic synth does. If you're holding a note and then you play another note and then let go, it's going to snap to the original note. I'll just show you a little demonstration of that as well. So yeah, that's how that works. A couple of other things to mention. Not all parameters are numbers. Sometimes you might want to set this to a MIDI note. And in this case, it basically works the exact same. You set the root equals parameter to whatever you want the root to output. And then you set the range to the range of the parameter in MIDI notes. Just toggle this to switch between them. And then one other thing, you also have this multi-map pop-out, which you can access by clicking this button. And, when you click it, you can map this to other parameters, mess with the ranges, so you can get more dynamic mapping or whatever. But yeah, besides that, I think that about covers it. I'm just going to play some clips here. This device can be found on my website. There's a link in the description. Have a good day.